Hi, my name's Liz, and I'm an artist and educator here at Maitland Regional Art Gallery. And today I'm going to take you through looking at this beautiful work behind me by Cuppaidge, which is a part of the Maitland Regional Art Gallery collection, and show you an art making workshop that you can get involved with inspired by this work. So first things first, really take your time to have a good look at this work. It is a painting done in oil on canvas, and it celebrates space and colour. You can see that the artwork is made up of these long horizontal lines, and her choices of colour are really interesting. I'm going to ask you a series of questions about this work, and I want you to feel encouraged to answer them creatively, and remember that there are no wrong or right answers. It's just however you would like to respond to this work. What does this artwork make you think of? And perhaps try and describe it using one word. So the first word that pops into your head. Which part of the artwork is your eye drawn to first? Is it drawn to the colours or the lines? How do you think it would feel to be inside this artwork? Would it feel calming? Spacious? Do you think that this artwork has a good sense of balance? Would you prefer to see it rotated? If it were portrait? Or do you like it landscape? Describe the colours in this artwork. Maybe going through each of the colour and naming something that it makes you think of. If this artwork were a piece of music, what do you think it would sound like? And a really important question to ask yourself, do you like this artwork? Maybe have a think about why or why not. So now that we've had a really good look at this work and a chance to have a think about it, we're going to move into the art making part of this video. I want you to make sure that you have a nice clear space to work in, and feel free to pause the video as you need to. So for this art making activity that we're going to do today, we're going to be using pastels, coloured pencils. I've got some washi tape here that you can just pick up at a news agency, and some tissues and just a white piece of paper. So it's up to you what scale you want to work at. Obviously Virginia works at quite large scales, but I'm just going to work on an A4 scale today. The first thing that we're going to do is take some washi tape and block out some spaces on our paper. I like to remove some of the adhesive off the tape first, just so it doesn't damage our paper later. And I do this by just placing it on the table, or you can put it on clothing and just lifting it back up again. So while you're blocking out your piece of paper, you might like to keep in mind your composition. So what areas you'd like to be really large and what areas you'd like to keep quite small. And it's nice to look for a sense of balance in your artwork as well. It's completely up to you how many spaces you'd like to create. I think I'm going to create about 6 on this particular artwork, ranging from quite big to quite small. Once you're happy with your composition, we're going to start to use our pastels. You can pick your favourite colours. You might like to stick with the same types of colours. Maybe you want to keep it nice and warm. Maybe you like to have a cool artwork. So deciding where you're going to have the biggest area of colour. So I'm going to pick this beautiful peach colour and fill in the biggest space. There are many ways that you can use a pastel. So there's lots of different edges. I'm just rubbing the longest edge back and forth. Otherwise, you can use a shortest edge for a denser colour. And then you're going to grab a tissue and just placing the tissue on top of your finger, rubbing the pastel into the paper. This will give you a nice even spread of colour. And then it's time to pick your next colour and colour in your next section. And again, using that tissue to really rub the colour into the paper. Because the pastels create quite a lot of dust, you might like to pick up your piece of paper and just give it a good shake over a bin or over a tissue, just to remove that excess dust. So the next part is we're going to reveal some white sections of our paper. So starting to lift the washi tape really gently off the surface of your paper. And you want to pull it nice and slowly so that it doesn't pick up any of the fibres of the paper. As you can see, it's left these beautiful white crisp lines behind. So our work's looking pretty colourful already, but the next step is to try and colour in all of the white that's left. So I've got some coloured pencils here, and maybe have a think about what colours you're going to use that will go with the colours that you've already chosen with the pastels. I'm going to start with this pink, and just starting to colour in, I'm just going to move my pencil back and forth to colour in this white space. You can take it quite slowly. And if you want the colour to be deeper, pressing your pencil down nice and hard. If you want to keep the colour nice and light, making it a bit more soft. I'm going to focus on these horizontal lines first. And then I'm just going to rotate my piece of paper and colour in the lines that I have left. And don't be afraid to overlap your colours too, maybe see what new colours you can create. And then I'm just going to rotate the piece of paper back to a landscape and have a really good look at it. So the colours that I've picked, if I were to imagine this work as a landscape, kind of remind me of perhaps a clay tennis court or the beach. The colours seem very summery and vibrant. And although Virginia's works are abstract, she does often reference landscape in the way that she talks about her work. So hot summer Australian days, growing up in Queensland. So when you have a look at your work, maybe have a think about if you did imagine it as a landscape, what kind of landscape would it be? Does it have lots of greens? Does it feel foresty? Or does it feel hot and dry? There might be some other questions that you want to think about when you do finish your work, like how do you think it's best displayed? As a portrait or as a landscape? And if so, which way up? Does it feel more balanced if you turn it upside down? Or if you have it the way that you started it? What title will you give your artwork? And what kind of mood do you think that your artwork has? As I mentioned before, this one is definitely feeling very summery. Are you happy with the colour combinations that you used? And if you were to make the work again, which feel free to make as many as you'd like, what kind of colours might you pick next? I hope that you've enjoyed this art making session today and learning a bit about Virginia Cuppaidge's work, Lilium. Keep in mind that this video and the accompanying worksheet is available to use at any time.